If I told you that how you spend your money matters way more than how much you earn per month, would you believe me? You see, most of the time people don't really want to talk about money or personal finances because first, societal expectation, it's also scary and a bit complicated. But personal finance is a real art and a real thing to master in your life, and it's not only about becoming rich, it is mostly about becoming free. Nowadays, understanding money and mastering your personal finances to have money on the long term is the ultimate way to be able to walk away from any situations in life that you don't really like, a job, a relationship, or a place. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, well hi, my name is Sacha, I'm a 25 years old veterinarian, and I also happen to be a content creator on this platform on YouTube where I make video to hopefully inspire you guys to go through changes in your life to live a happier, more successful, and more fulfilling life. And we are going to divide today's video in 3 different chapters, starting from understanding personal finances. Then we'll be looking at the pillars of personal finances. And finally, I will show you how I started personal finances and how you can start easily to become a master of your own money. Alright, quick disclaimer before going into the deepest part of this video. I just want to mention that personal finances is not only for people who are in their early 20s. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 35, 50 years old or 60 years old. It's never too late to be able to understand finances, money, and how you can master this art in order to gain some freedom in your life. Second disclaimer before starting this video, let's just remember and make things clear. Money is not a goal, it is a tool that will eventually help you to build the life that you want, reach your goals, or to simply try to remove as many anxiety and negative feelings that you could have from an unstable financial situation. Alright, first things first, what does personal finance mean? Well, personal finance is very simple. It is the practice of managing one's own money, and this includes budgeting, saving, investing, earnings, the balance between incomes and expenses, to meet, well, the current needs that you have as a human in a society, and to achieve long-term financial stability, and to also try to reach some goals such as, well, an early retirement, or if not, at least a comfortable retirement. Right, the first pillar of personal finances, that is probably one of the most important one, is budgeting. If you want to give a very simple definition, let's say that budgeting is simply to have a plan to track income and expenses and also allocate funds throughout the different fields of your life. Whether it is your subscriptions, your groceries, or the money you want to spend to go out for dinner or for parties. There are plenty of different numbers that you can find online when it comes to budgeting, how to budget, but let me tell you that most of the time you take your income, which is, well, at the beginning mostly your salary, and you divide this by 2. 50% of this income will most of the time go for life duties, which is your rent, your health insurance, your car insurance, and all of the fixed costs of your life. And then the remaining 50% in your life, well, you can do whatever you want with it, but in my own opinion, my recommendation is to at least keep 20% of it for saving and investing, which is the next part that we're going to talk about in this video. So for a quick recap of what budgeting really means with a real example of mine, let's round up my salary as a veterinary intern around roughly 3,000 Swiss francs. Well, from these 3,000, well, you take 50% of it, which is roughly 1.5k, and all of this will go for my rent, my health insurance, and basic utility bills. I always do try to keep at least 20% to save some money and to invest some every single month, no matter what. So this represents roughly 500 Swiss francs, and the remaining money of my first source of income, which is my salary as a veterinary intern, will be used for groceries if I want to go out for dinner with my girlfriend or with friends or whatever I want to be doing in my life. Okay, now that you have a plan to track your income, expenses, and to allocate the funds into the different fields of your life, let's jump into the next pillar of personal finances, which is savings. Saving basically just means putting some money aside on your bank account or on a specific bank account. And the most common thing nowadays is to think that you need to save in order to buy something. Well, if you are thinking this way, please erase that idea and that perception of personal finance from your head, from your mind, and from your life. One of the key to personal finances is that you don't need to be saving for a specific reason. Just start saving money for the sake of it. I would even go further into the savings part, and let's divide it into 2 different parts. The first one is general savings. which is money that you will allocate and probably use one day for whatever you want to spend it on. The other part of savings will create your emergency fund. Again, as we talked about in the beginning of this video, anything can happen at any moment of your life, and most of the time whenever it's unexpected, whether your car broke down and you need to get it repaired, your phone fell out of your pocket, or you need to change your laptop for any reasons. Well, if you manage to every single month or every time you have an income coming into your bank account to keep some money for your life's general savings and to build this emergency fund, then you will be able to fully cover the unexpected cost in your life without having any negative feelings or anxiety that could come from it. One of the things that I've learned is that whenever I was learning about numbers and how much you need to allocate into your emergency fund, well, it would sometimes not be achievable in my own personal case. This is why I'm not talking about how many X percentage of money should go into your emergency fund or your life savings, general savings, because this is pretty much individual dependent. In my own case, to still be talking and presenting some numbers, I allocate around 30% of my 20% saving from my main income into the money that I invest every single month, and the rest is split in between general life savings and my emergency fund. Okay, now that we talked about budgeting and saving, we have some basic fundamental knowledge about personal finances, and well, we can't have any budget or savings if we don't talk about incomes and expenses. Basically, incomes is whatever is going to come into your bank account, and your expenses, well, is whatever you are going to spend your money on. This is another very interesting point and something that I've learned from, well, my own experience and, well, all of the podcasts, YouTube videos, books that I've been reading for the last past 6 years of my life. It is the fact that it is extremely useful and important to be able to build different sources of incomes in your life. So I did earn roughly 3,000 Swiss francs during my veterinary internship, which some people can consider a lot of money. However, Switzerland is considered as being one of the most expensive country to live in. So at the end of the month, from the 3,000 Swiss francs that I would roughly get from my job, well, there was not that much left. Hopefully I managed throughout the last years to learn some new skills and to transform these skills into valuable things that will bring new incomes in my life. I managed to get paid for videos on social media or to make video for some clients. These additional incomes allowed me to, well, increase the funds allocated into the different fields of my life, mostly savings, emergency fund, and the next pillar of personal finance, investment. Again, as I talked about in the beginning of this video, one of the goals of personal finance is indirectly, yes, to become rich, but the main one is to be free. And of the smartest and most efficient way to do so is through investing your own money. Today's video is not about how you need to invest your money or what stocks you need to buy or what ETFs you need to buy or what crypto you need to stake in order to increase your wealth. But for now, let's remember that there is a way to grow your money and that your money grows on its own through, well, mostly compound interest, where you invest your money every single month for the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life. And if you manage to master the previous parts that we just talked about, budgeting and saving, then you will manage to take some money out of your income to put it on something, or basically anything that could make your money work for you. A quick disclaimer here, most people are almost laughing at me whenever I talk about money and personal finances and investment, only because I earn a pretty low salary at the moment. The truth is that it's not about how much you earn per month, it's how well you are able to manage this income and to allocate the fund as good as you can in your life in order to build wealth and financial freedom over time. So it doesn't matter if you earn little money, start with a simple budgeting, saving, and investing strategy, and the more you will earn in your life, the more you will be able to allocate the funds and the bigger the wealth and the freedom you will get. Alright, now that we know a little bit more about the definition, the goal of personal finances and the main pillars of it, let me show you how you can start your own personal finances in your life. You first need to address your current financial situation. The same way a business needs to know perfectly his target audience in order to, well, be successful. If you want to be successful in personal finances, well, you need to be fully aware of your own situation right now. Whether you are a student, whether you are an intern, extern, you have a full-time job, or you don't have a job for the moment. In my own situation, well, I'm 25 years old. I'm a fully graduated vet. I have two main sources of income in my life, which is, well, getting paid as a vet and getting paid as a videographer or a creator on social media. And for you watching this video, maybe you are a student, maybe your main source of income is your parents giving you money, or you have a loan from the bank to fund your studies, or maybe you work part-time in a student job. It is the first step to just sit down and write this down in order to be fully aware of your current situation. Once you've gone through this and you are fully aware of your situation, what's your status and what are your incomes, you also need to be aware of your expenses. In order to be aware of your expenses, well, this is very easy nowadays. There are some apps, banking apps such as Revolut, which is not sponsoring this video, which is this online banking app where you can easily track your expenses depending on whether it is groceries, restaurants, shopping, online shopping, or whatever it could be. Revolut, if you're watching this video, feel free to get in touch. I love your app. If your bank is not like Revolut yet and doesn't have these smart tools and show you directly what you spend your money on each month or each weeks, it doesn't matter. Just grab your bank statement, anyone can have this, and go through it and start taking notes about where your money is going every day, every week, or every month. Once you've done this, make sure that you differentiate in between the fixed cost of your life, which is rent, health insurance, utility bills, and the variable ones such as this festival you attended with your friends or the latest shopping cart that you decided to buy. Also write down your main source of income, whether it is, again, while your parents giving you money each month, which is a fair thing, the loan that you got from the bank, or your part-time job as a student. Alright, now that you have a clear vision of your situation, it's time to set a clear financial goal. Just ask yourself why you are starting to learn about personal finances, whether it is based on a short-term strategy to, well, buy yourself a new car, get yourself that new watch that you've been looking at for years, or that new camera, or whether it is based on a long-term financial strategy in order to build wealth for you and your family, to be able to buy yourself a house, or to retire earlier. This is clearly what is going to be at the foundations of your personal finances strategies, because obviously the budgeting, saving, and investment part are going to be very different for someone who has a short-term strategy and someone who has a long-term one. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It really means the world to me. And let me know your thoughts down below in the comments about your situation and whether this video helped you out or not. In case you've been watching this video all the way until the end, I will assume that you are pretty much interested in all of this word and basically into self-improvement. Just to let you know that I released a video about the 5 pillars of your life that you need to focus on and work on in order to achieve this self-improvement journey. It will appear somewhere here on the screen in case you're interested, and I will meet you in the next one. As always, bye-bye.